Your bangs look good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I washed my hair last night.
Yeah, me too.
It's my God.
That's why I got all the curls. The curls. Right on the verge of not having to put my hair up all the time. It's not 112 degrees outside.
I am waiting for just this front section right here to get longer so I can pull it back into.
Or just tuck it behind the ear.
I can tuck it behind the ear just.
No, because you still got a little wing.
Yeah, I have a little bit of wing.
A little bit of chicken wing right there.
But I can't, like, when I pull my hair up into, like, the top ponytail,
Yeah.
it just still hangs down. It's still just a little too short.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is great.
Yeah.
But it's just nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm glad you shortened the bangs.
I am too.
Yeah, they work better. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna please get that so
I accidentally did that on purpose, and I know that doesn't make sense, but
Okay.
I wanted it to balance out on both sides so that it wasn't so heavy on one side, but then I realized that I cut a little too much off anyway, so I stopped.
Oh, well, it works. What do you think of people that do their bangs like this? Not pronounced, but it's a little longer between the eyes.
I think, actually, there's someone I follow on TikTok that intentionally puts a point down the middle of her bangs.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like someone from Teen Titans, I don't know who it is, but
I don't know what a Teen Titan is.
it's a DC thing. It's like the
Are they super awesome? Like superhero kind
Yes.
of things? Okay.
But I also know that some people also do it just because it's more gothic.
Sure.
I think.
Okay.
Especially when they do it with darker hair.
Sure. Yeah. Can you be goth and be blonde?
Yes, but it's
Can you be goth and be brown like you and me? Or I guess
It's
we're
all-
brownish red.
It's also weird.
Reddish brown. What are we? I think we're brownish red.
I think we're a brownish red.
We're more brown than red.
Yeah, so we're a brownish red. Because if we're reddish brown, it means we're more red than brown.
Is that what it means, or does reddish brown mean it's brown with some red? Question for the ages. Right into Under the Sun and Moon.
Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Under the Sun and Moon podcast with Michelle and Kes.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Kes.
It is Monday. No, it's Tuesday.
It's Wednesday.
Oh fuck it. Oh shoot. Okay, it is. It's Wednesday, September 14th, 2022.
I think you can be blonde and be goth, but some people say that it's like a soft goth because you have lighter colors and shit like that. And I'm like, why does it matter?
Yeah, why does it matter?
Yeah. Your hair doesn't have to be black for you to be goth. That's about.
Do people just dye their hair black then?
Yeah.
Is it actually black, or are they dyeing it like really dark brown?
I've seen some people do a super dark brown, and I think that looks really cool.
What about blue? What about super dark blue?
Blue, I think would also work, but then if you start, at least in like, back when Tumblr was much bigger.
Yeah. Rolling in a frame.
It's more like falling into scene territory.
Scene. You're gonna tell me what this is,
Yes.
right?
So, just okay. Think of I like to think of it, and if I'm
Scene
wrong,
is SCENE.
yes, as in a
Okay.
scene in a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you think I'm wrong, it's up for perspective. So don't even. So, I think of it as like kind of like a spectrum of the same aesthetic.
Okay.
So we have this end,
Uh-huh.
which is goth,
Sure.
which is mostly black, mostly like harsher lines, I think, as well.
Goth comes from Gothic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like harsher lines in the makeup, also lots of lace if you want to go a little bit more on the Victorian Gothic side.
Sure, that makes sense. That would be Gothic era.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end, you have scene.
Okay.
So scene is much more like super vibrant colors,
Okay.
like neons.
Oh, actual neons.
Yeah,
Okay.
actual neons, but it's also
I was thinking like electric blue or really powerful purple, but no, you're saying neon.
usually neons.
Oh, okay.
So like
Here, here's a blue.
it's like On this end, it's kind of like wearing the boots and like the chains and the like typical like black stuff in super vibrant neon colors.
Okay. Is it the goth attitude? Is it the goth feeling?
No, it's a lot more.
Are
Not
they
really,
related then?
not really, huh?
Are they related then? Did scene come from goth or?
Well, there's a middle ground I haven't gotten to yet.
Oh. Okay.
So I feel like scene is actually, yeah, they might have the same feeling. They just don't appear to be like terribly similar in terms of color palette and like a lot of people also like in scene aesthetics. It's very big on. Okay, you know what? Best way I can describe it is like Avril Lavigne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like she like with the pink in the hair and teased it a lot and.
I sit in front of a computer. Maybe I can actually just look something up.
Yeah, let's say.
Is it called style? Or?
Aesthetic, style.
Okay, let's start with style.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that reminds me of this ish.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the Harajuku,
Yeah.
which I love, by the way.
I really like
I
it.
totally could have done this when I was younger. Now I would just look like a silly 50-year-old. But yeah. So, because with scene, I'm seeing exaggerated hairstyles,
Yeah.
maybe even pigtails, super big, like bang, come over to the side kind of thing,
Yeah.
but with color.
That's like the most popular scene photo. Like that's everywhere.
And who is this? This looks like
I have
someone.
no idea actually.
See, this face looks familiar to me.
Yeah.
Now, this also says emo. Is that the same thing?
Emo, I was gonna say, is the middle ground. Emo kind of crosses over between like the darker and the like vibrant color thing.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Pretty.
I know.
Oh, she's cute.
I know. Oh yeah, that was another thing, and not just because of like the time period.
Yeah.
The time period as if it was that long ago. The time period of like this kind of thing was like eyeliner had to be
On
and
point.
bottom
Yeah.
and on point. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no smoky eye here.
No.
It's very clean, very
Yeah.
crisp.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay.
So how do we get here?
I don't remember. I think we were just talking about your hair and my hair because
Oh
the
yeah.
temperature is finally changing. It's not 112 degrees outside. Not that it's been 112 degrees in upstate New York, but it might as well be because I don't like the heat.
Well, it's been humid enough to where
It's been very humid.
It's been like
For upstate New York.
regular
Yeah.
regular temp today is 91 degrees, but it feels like 99.
Right. And
Right.
it's been, now, when we were in Cincinnati, it was not unusual for it to be 99 degrees, literally, and
Oh, yeah.
98% humidity.
Right.
Like walking through soup,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty much what yesterday
Yesterday was
was
gross.
like, and Monday night became like that.
And it's
And
hard.
it's been like that lately.
It was hard because it was supposed to rain yesterday too, but because I think it's just because of this part of the valley that we're in.
It's also just so dry here that I think that when moist air arrives, instead of it becoming rain, everything just soaks it right out of the damn atmosphere.
Right.
Is that a thing? If there's a meteorologist out there, we'd love to hear from you. So it's been hotter than usual everywhere. So it's been hotter than usual here, and I don't tolerate heat well. Some people like it. My body does not. It's not a personal thing that I have against heat. I'm susceptible. I would say more susceptible to the heat than the average person. Would you say that?
I think you are.
Yeah, like I can't.
Like, I have my problems with it because with the humidity becomes harder to breathe,
Right,
asthma,
yeah,
things like that.
Yeah, yesterday was bad. Monday was bad.
But with you, it's actual body temperature.
Yeah. Like,
Because of your Hashimoto's.
yeah. Because I can't maintain my body temperature very well. I'm either freezing or I'm sweating. There's generally nothing in between. But I'd rather be freezing because you can put a sweater on.
You can always add layers instead of taking off.
Yeah, it seems to be easier to warm up than it is to cool off.
Yeah.
There's Scott.
Oh, hi, buddy. I saw him in the grocery yesterday.
Did ya?
Yeah. He was
So-
hanging out.
We decided we were going to start trying to do this again.
Yeah, so
And we were talking about what we were going to talk about today. We were trying to come up with a topic last night. And then I said to you, I think I have something.
yeah, what is it?
Tradition.
Oh. Tradition in terms of family traditions, or like just like even like cultural traditions?
Yeah, let's
like
just
that?
have a conversation about tradition. What do you think?
I think.
I'll tell you how I came to this topic.
Okay, cool.
Yesterday, well, first of all, Queen Elizabeth
Yes.
II
Yes.
passed away last week. And so there's a lot of like pomp and circumstance and reference to tradition, especially in the UK, going on like right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Like her remains by now, let's see, it's 10:48 a.m. here, which means it is 3:48 p.m. In the UK, and her remains should be in Westminster Abbey by now. Is that where they're going?
I think so.
Or is it Buckingham? Absolutely
Oh,
no
I think-
idea, but I'm sure someone will correct me. And
It's Buckingham.
so, there's been a lot of like talk about tradition and traditional things going on. And we had a loss recently, not a personal loss, but longtime family friends of ours, and especially my step family, people that they grew up with right across the street.
Yeah.
The last of their parents died.
A few days? No.
No,
This was a month ago.
Bud Melick, Marshall actually was his first name,
Mm-hmm.
and one of his granddaughters is the same age as Kes.
Yeah.
They grew up together. We've known Brianna since she was like infant.
Yeah.
Definitely borderline toddler because she's like 6 months older than you.
Yes.
Yeah. So 6 months when you're a newborn
Yeah.
is a big age difference.
Mm-hmm.
And just known her parents now I've known her parents because of knowing Brianna
Yeah.
through you and through my stepsister, Diana. And so anyway, the family is scattered around the country, but mainly on the East Coast, and they all came up. They wanted to be able to be here together for the wake and the funeral. The funeral's probably ending soon.
Yeah.
Because
it was earlier this morning.
Yeah, but the wake was last night, so that was
went
a
to that.
traditional thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not necessarily talking about grief today.
No, not really.
But that, so we went last night. It's just one of those things that you do to go pay your respects, sort of to the
Mostly
person
to
that passed away, but really
mostly to
these
the
things
family.
are about the people that are still living, right? To talk to the family. So we spent some time with Brianna. We talked to Evan. We talked to Sue.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk to Brian.
Yeah.
He had a long line of people in front of him.
Yeah.
I really wanted to meet his sister. You'll probably get to meet
Oh,
her
yeah.
tomorrow more, Mary,
Yeah.
and her kids.
Mm-hmm.
Really beautiful family. So, it got me thinking about tradition. And then we were at the grocery store last night. And I picked up
Oh yeah.
this.
Ta-da.
Can you see it? Can you see it?
I think they mostly can.
It's the
You can definitely see
September
Serena.
issue of Vogue with the queen, one of the queens, one of our queens.
Yeah.
Uh,
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams on the cover, who recently retired from professional tennis. Probably one of the greatest
Yeah.
tennis players who has ever lived, along with her sister,
Mm-hmm.
Venus. It's not about Serena. Although it could be.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
It's about the magazine, actually.
Yeah, because we've gotten it every year.
Yeah, we've been picking up the September issue of Vogue specifically. I have had a subscription in the past, but it's just a pain in the neck to keep going for some reason. I don't know why subscriptions are so hard. Everything's computerized. Why do you need to make it so difficult?
That's a cool show.
Oh my god, look at that.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It's so cute.
So not only is she wearing the sausage dress, but her daughter is holding the end of the train. Oh, so cute. Just love it.
We have Julia
And so we've been picking up the September issue of Vogue since before you were born.
Yeah.
Today, almost every day, when I remember to put it on, except for during the pandemic, because when you're wearing a mask, why would you wear lipstick? I put on my lipstick. You know what? I'll get it out first. Okay. You're never gonna believe this. Although if you know me and you know how severe my allergies are, you know that I don't really change products very often because
Right.
I'm allergic to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not food, generally, no foods.
No, not really.
No medications except the eye drops that the doctor gives you to dilate your eyes when you have an eye exam. They make my throat go numb. I can't feel anything in the back of my throat. So
That lipstick you have had for forever.
now I haven't had this particular tube of lipstick forever because that would be gross.
But like the same color.
But this is Revlon. I don't even know what it's called anymore. This is the creme. I think they keep changing what the make is, but the color is what's important. So this was on Cindy Crawford when she was on the cover of the September issue of Vogue in 1992.
Wow.
And she was wearing this color, rum raisin. And I saw this color on the magazine and I was like, and I tried it and it looks good on me. I feel like this is
That's your color.
just like I have a signature perfume because I can't change perfumes because I'm very allergic to floral scents.
I have one too.
This is my signature color.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been wearing this. It's now the fall of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I have been wearing this color for 30 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do have a couple of other lipsticks, but when I put them on, they almost look weird
Yeah.
because it's not my color.
Especially when you do pinks.
Yeah, pinks
Wow,
don't
is
work
it
for
weird?
me. Yeah. Also, I'm too old for pink now. I know that when you
Very
get
used
older women can wear pink. Like grandma, because she has very gray, silvery hair,
Yeah.
she can wear a softer color.
But I feel like you and I both naturally just wear darker colors.
Yeah.
Except for what you're wearing now, but that's different.
Right.
But yeah, you have had that lipstick for years.
Yeah, so I've been wearing rum raisin because of the Vogue September issue.
And
Since 1992.
I also have my own signature perfume.
You do?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Coco Chanel.
Mm-hmm. Coco Chanel. Tried the original Chanel. That was a no. And actually went hunting. I went hunting for a perfume for you because it's like a tradition.
Yeah.
It's become like a thing. I can't change perfumes for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you can probably wear other perfumes because you can tolerate other scents and they don't bother you.
That's true. I can wear other perfumes, but I mostly just I think my brain has been trained, not on purpose, but just by happenstance, to not really flow towards florally scents. Because I was never really around them, because you couldn't be
Yeah,
around
because I
them.
couldn't have them.
Except
I
if
can
they were
have
actual
roses.
flowers.
I can have roses in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have lilac. I love lilacs, but I can't be near them.
But yeah, I kind of gear more
lilies,
towards.
very strong scent.
I don't even-
Gardenias are an absolute no.
I don't even know how I would describe Coco Chanel's scent.
I don't either.
But I kind of gear more towards earthy. Even like,
Yeah, not quite a musk, but close to that. Musky, sort of.
well,
What's my scent?
your scent is Oscar de la Renta.
Oscar de la Renta, the original, which is getting harder and harder to find.
Yeah.
I've had to talk to Oscar de la Renta about that, the company. Because
Really?
eventually I think they're going to stop. You can't even buy it as an eau de parfum anymore. You can only buy it as an eau de toilette, and it's still hard to find.
Because I looked for Christmas for you.
And we couldn't find it. And we ended up going to one particular Macy's in the area, and they had like a
Was it
bottle.
Macy's or CVS? Because I thought
You're
it
right,
was...
it was CVS.
Yeah, in Glenmont, right?
Yeah. And whenever people smell it on me, they're like, oh, I really like your perfume. I'm like, okay,
Thank you.
thank you. It came out in 1977,
Yeah.
and I've been wearing it since 1987.
Oh, you know what I can't do in terms of perfume?
What?
Anything from Victoria's Secret. Can't do
They're-
any of them.
Yeah, they're
Super, super pungent, very florally, very...
and very crisp, like on the lighter.
It reminds...
To me, scents are like on a gradation.
It reminds me of Axe, and I hate Axe. God, it was like... Not only was it the prime scent to cover up smelling like pot in high school, but it just smells terrible. Like...
Notes from Kes.
Anyway, tradition.
So we picked this up. So this was also on the topic of tradition because I've been picking it up since before you were born. But then once you got to be, you were pretty young. How old were you when we started going through this together? 6, 5,
I was about to
7?
say single-digit age. I think I was 5,
Okay, we're gonna go with 5.
and I'm 23, so
You do the math.
18 years.
Nice. And this is what do we call this?
The Bible.
This is the Bible. If you've ever watched Legally Blonde, you'll see her show up at prison with a copy of Cosmo
At
for her
prison?
client. Yeah, when the client is locked up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she's like, and I brought you a copy of the Bible. And she pulls out Cosmo. This is like the Bible. Although we don't really follow this,
No.
but we flip through it every year, every single ad, everything. We go through this book like 2 or 3 times, together and separately.
Yeah.
And we look at all the ads, we look at everything, all the fashion
Yeah.
that is in the book, and we talk about what we like, what we don't like. If you've ever looked at some of these style shoots that are in some of these major fashion magazines and you're like, what the hell is that? Who dresses like that? No one dresses like that. But we really pick it apart and we're like, okay, like sweater, okay.
The color's
Skirt,
nice. But
interesting.
yeah. The bag I'm not a fan of.
Yeah,
I'd wear that jacket.
I would wear that jacket, and it's got feathers.
Probably.
Is that Kendall Jenner?
I think
Oh,
so. Oh, hell yeah.
the big waist cincher.
The shoes are interesting.
This is
See
a
that?
Dior shoe. Look at the stockings. Yeah, the shoes are super interesting.
I'd wear this.
Yeah, you would.
And the rings.
It's got that tattoo effect.
Yeah.
It's a lace top. But anyway, we go through this every year. Not as intense in some years, obviously. Your dad died. We passed it back and forth, but I don't think we ever looked at it together.
No. I still have that one somewhere, by
Yeah.
the way. Like, I don't think I ever got rid of it.
Yeah, eventually they pile up, and then we have to clean out all the Vogues. We've got to go back like years.
Oh, yeah.
So this is another tradition that we follow every year, and it's kind of like it's our time. It's our bonding time. My husband would
Yeah.
always be like, "Oh, okay, so I won't see you guys for a couple of days." When we moved to Cincinnati, and we would go and sit under a tree and
We would sit outside,
on a blanket, and the neighbors just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, they're like, what are you guys doing out here? We're like,
Sitting.
we're sitting and we're flipping through a magazine.
Yeah. That wasn't apparently something that people in that neighborhood did. It appears not to be something that people in Cincinnati did. Like
No.
sit on their front lawn under a tree and just flip through a magazine. I'm
I'm confused. That's cool. I'm confused here.
confused.
Is it a pocket that she's pulling on?
Or is it just a piece of the dress? I don't know.
I have no idea. That's cool though.
Yeah. The gold thread.
Although
The ombre.
I feel like one of the sections of the magazine that I never like is Miu Miu.
Oh, not a fan.
I
Yeah.
can never get on board with Miu Miu, and not because
It must be an extra piece.
it's inherently not because it's inherently bad, but
Oh,
simply because I just don't like it.
And a pocket.
It is a pocket.
Interesting. We're not ignoring you, I'm sorry. But so this is one of our traditions.
I think, okay, you know what? You asked me earlier when I think of tradition, and I just remembered one that never happened to me because we don't know where it is. You know what I'm thinking of?
Oh, the bathing suit.
Yep.
We should find out for real. if I can find that photo, we will share it on our Instagram.
Yes, follow us on Instagram at Under the Sun and Moon Gifts on Instagram. And
it'll show up then on our Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bathing suit that there used to be a store in town, if any of you remember Ben Franklin Gifts, because there was one in Ohio, so it was a pretty large chain at one time. And the big thing about Ben Franklin is that they had a huge crafts section. So I could go there and I could buy all the stuff to do macrame, because I used to do macrame. I know it's come back now, but this is in like the 70s and early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be really good at it. And I did other things like with plastic canvas. I made handbags and but anyway, they also had like clothing and other departments. It was a small, at least in my town, department store. And so one of the clothing items that they had, you know, because it was an off market small department store, we would get things there that no doubt were there because no one else wanted them. And so my cousin Kim, who's 4 years older than I, we were in the store one day and it was probably 1983. It might have been 1982.
Is that how old this thing is?
Kimmy graduated in 84. And the bathing suit was there for a long time and never sold. And it was the color of pea soup and strapless, has a big wide elastic band around the top, and then it's got elastic here where the high brief meets this, like, it's supposed to be a loose blousey top, and then there's like a sash or
a belt or something
that ties at the waist, or there was one at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just hideous, and her and I both went into the fitting room and tried it on over our clothes because there was no way we were putting it on otherwise. And we're just laughing and giggling, and of course there's no cell phones or we didn't own cameras then. Cameras were really expensive, I don't think people realize, but having photos from before digital cameras means how that translates. We should talk about that sometime.
Yeah.
And so, as a gag gift, when my cousin graduated, I was 13, she was 17, I bought this bathing suit for her. And I shoved it inside of a Crest toothpaste box, and then put it in a box. There was like 13 boxes, and I dropped this giant box in front of her on the night she graduated. And she opened the box, and it was this hideous bathing suit. And we laughed, and nobody knew the joke except for the two of us. And then she put it on, and there are pictures of Kimmy with this bathing suit on, with her very curly blonde hair and her big 80s glasses. And then when I graduated, because I was the next to graduate, she gifted it back to me. So I got it at my graduation party, and of course I had to put it on. That became the tradition. And then we decided that my cousin Allison would get it, and my cousin Tara, and then my sister Nancy. My sister Becky was supposed to get it. I think she got it later because somehow it got lost.
Yeah.
And then it went on to the next generation, and I know Bria got it.
Bria did get it, because I remember being there for the picture.
And then it was supposed to go to Haley and you. You and Haley both graduated at the same time, but
Haley never got it, I don't think.
somewhere in the bathing suit was lost.
Yeah.
But it was a tradition for so Kimmy graduated in 84, my sister Becky graduated in 94.
Yeah.
So for 10 years, all the girls in our family got this bathing suit, and then it passed on to the oldest of the next generation, which was Bria, who's actually getting married this month. So that was a tradition. I think you're disappointed that you didn't get to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that the bathing suit's out there somewhere, and Tara seems to think that she has it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know where it is. So as we have this conversation, I was just wondering, I'd like to drop it out there. Maybe people could let us know what they have any traditions.
I think
We don't have holiday traditions, but I mean like these other little things, you know, the things that kind of carry you through the rest of the year and the day.
I think that so
I don't know where we lost.
like
So we're talking about tradition.
yeah, because I said difference between tradition and traditional, and
Right.
like we have the things that we do and the things that my husband and I do. But I think when people hear traditional today, it's a little more linked to like conservative.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like,
don't know, I tend to think of traditional too as
Old.
not just conservative, but conservative white.
Yeah.
Boring.
Mhm.
Is that a bad thing? Probably.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of cases,
Yeah.
but because like, there's obviously we could get into the whole like different traditions in politics and stuff like that, but I will
Sure.
not.
No. Not going down that road.
And there's like tradition with obviously like you said holidays and traditions with religion and traditions with things like that,
Mhm.
but it's I feel like traditional can also be something where you kind of feel stuck in some sort of way. It's like you have to do this thing because it's tradition.
Right.
Because I hear that a lot, and I'm like, why?
Uh-huh.
But
I think that what people mean when they say that, if they say that to you, is that, but it's tradition. I think what they mean is it's something that they want to see continue and carry on.
right,
They want.
it's about what
And
they want.
they can't find a way to explain that, so they say it's tradition or it's traditional. This is what we do.
Like one of the things, and I'm not saying I regret it in any sort of way,
Mhm.
but I remember you pulled that card on me one time
Sure.
because of me joining the auxiliary.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing that you actually genuinely wanted to see continue.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because you wanted me to join, but because I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I remember.
Because there's a community aspect to it, and you like to volunteer.
Yeah.
And I like to volunteer. It's just the way we were raised.
Right.
But my grandmother was in the auxiliary. All of my aunts, my mom,
Yeah.
grandmother, and I'm in it now, and my sister Rebecca, and my cousins,
Yeah.
my step family,
Yeah.
their mom,
Mhm.
and you know.
Yeah.
So two different auxiliaries actually,
Yeah.
and we're members of both. So yeah, and I know that you were kind of like resistant to it, especially because you had tied it to parading.
Yeah.
You were like, I don't want to parade.
Yeah, I was like, I
okay,
don't want to parade.
whatever. It's not what this is about.
Right.
Although there is an aspect to parading, which is also a tradition, and it's struggling right now to stay alive. And do we keep it alive? I guess that's the question that nobody asks.
No, not really.
You know,
Because I don't think it's in like a rude way, but I think they just assume that it needs to stay alive.
right?
Because like,
But what
Actually-
people don't talk about is how much it costs
yeah,
to parade.
and also it's interesting.
How much uniforms cost?
Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of my friends that, especially in Cincinnati, when I would tell them, I was like, yeah, my family parades and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, that's so cool. Like, what, like, how does that work? And I'm like, well, usually it's competition parading.
And we're back
And we're back. How's my
after a brief distraction.
It's not great.
Jesus Christ. So thanks. Kes.
Yes.
Okay, so tradition.
Tradition. It's I remember in particular having a hard time with again the difference between traditional and tradition, especially when I was getting married,
Okay.
because my wedding wasn't traditional.
No.
Because it was
You weren't looking for a traditional wedding either, were you?
no, I didn't want a wedding at all.
Right.
No, I wanted to.
You wanted to wear a fancy dress.
I wanted to wear the dress and just get dressed up for the occasion, but I didn't want to have like a reception or
A big event.
Yeah, no. So
And you got what you wanted.
yeah, I did.
Thanks to the pandemic.
Oddly enough,
Yeah.
as horrible as the pandemic was, the one good thing that came out of it was getting married and having a small wedding. So, but
It was like Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy was terrible.
yeah.
Something good came out of it. Your father got to come home from work.
Mhm.
He was in New Jersey, and the company was not going to let him come home. And he wasn't hired to work in New Jersey, but once they got him there, they were refusing to let him leave.
Yeah.
And then a hurricane hit, and he got to come home finally after
Yeah.
being there almost a month.
Are there any traditions that, not like, again, like religious or political or whatever, like traditions that just you're used to that you don't like?
Traditions that I'm used to, but I don't like them. Sure, there are lots of them. Most of them revolve around grief and having death tied to religion. Yeah. Not a fan.
No.
Not a fan of the traditional things that people say. So I have tried to create some of my own traditions. I guess. Can you do that? Can you create a tradition?
Yeah.
People do it all the time.
Yeah.
Other traditions I don't like. It's traditional to have a summer vacation from school, and I think it's stupid. I think kids should be in school year round, but have big chunks of vacation, like a month off here and a month off there, instead of 3 months off from school. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Traditions of people. Is it a tradition? Or is it a custom? What's the difference? Of people working on a computer all day and having to sit in an office.
Yeah.
Like, why are you making me drive a half hour, an hour, an hour and a half
to go to an office
and sit in an office and do the same thing I could do at home?
Right.
And not have to drive and have a parking space, and you wouldn't need to provide me with a desk or anything else.
You know what? I just remembered a tradition that...
And it seems to be something that people can't let go of. And I think that's why I don't like it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right. I think that... Well, it just reminded me.
Gas-powered cars. I think they're a tradition now. People won't let go of them because it's traditional.
In my college class, where we were talking about professional practices and portfolio prep, talking about the steps, I'm looking at you, the steps to take to become an artist to make a living.
Oh, yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying this in any sort of like malicious or rude way towards anyone in particular.
But
if
I hear a butt coming.
Oh yeah. But if you truly believe that you need to spend the rest of your life having your art as a side gig or a part-time thing because you've been told that you can't do it,
That's not true.
That's not even remotely true. Because and here's the thing too, I think...
You benefit from being raised being told that that's not true, though.
That's true. Because...
I just can't believe they teach it in college.
Yeah, I know. It's also something that I find irritating is specifically when, I think it bothers me the most when people try to make a living out of, being an artist or doing something freelance or things like that. And, they're afraid to take that leap because is it going to cost a lot of money? It depends, but will you be broke for a while? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a risk that you need to be willing to take. It's not that it can't happen, it's that you've been told that it can't happen.
Also, being broke is a relative term.
Yeah.
Some people think they're broke, if they don't have any money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you're not broke if you don't have any money in the bank.
Yeah.
And that would generally be us.
Yeah. but it's frustrating because traditionally people have been told to have a job to support the family,
Their interests.
to support their interests, but making their interests their job, that's when they're
And then
like,
someday you can retire from the job you hate and you get to do part-time at least the thing that you really want to
I've
do.
always wanted
Which
to do.
50 years later is going to be something completely different from when it was when you were 20.
Right. Which is crap.
Especially, here we sit in front of a camera. We'll put this on YouTube. We have Instagram. We have Facebook.
Yeah.
You use TikTok.
Yeah.
I probably should. I don't know anything about it. Never been on Twitter. But there are people that make money simply by using those avenues to connect with people.
Yeah. That's content creation.
But some are content creators, yes. But some of the content creators are artists.
Well, I'm saying that I said content creation for a reason. Because they aren't necessarily content creators, but they use content creation to make those connections and build those revenues.
Yeah.
So that's untraditional.
Yeah. So there are things that are traditional that are not so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people are kind of constantly trying to break the mold.
I feel like I do pretty well at it. I feel like you and I both do.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when it comes to tradition, you should try to hold on to the things that have meaning to you, but let go of the things that not necessarily don't have meaning anymore, but
kind of you outgrew.
Society has outgrown them. Maybe you haven't outgrown them yet.
Yeah.
Because you're unwilling to, but you should let those things go.
Mm-hmm. That's stuff that you don't want to carry around.
No.
Especially if you feel like it's hindering or hurting you more than it is helping you.
Do you think those people can see that?
No, not really. Because, again, of either the environment that they were raised in or the things that they were told, they're led to believe.
Their personality, they're just obstinate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know a lot of people like that.
Like people used to use the argument that gay people couldn't get married because it's not tradition.
Yeah. Which is crap.
Yeah, that's a load of crap.
Yeah. Or, like, what else was it?
Or that the only correct family is a family with two parents.
Or the correct family.
That a single parent shouldn't be raising children.
Yeah, or the correct family was a father and a mother.
Correct.
Not two moms or two dads.
I'm saying correct.
Right, yes. Mm-hmm.
Not
No, yeah. Or, like, it's traditional for, if you are in a heterosexual relationship, for the male to be bringing in the money for the household.
Family mainly.
Yeah.
Should be making most of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Or the only one working.
Yeah.
And if you have children, someone should be home with the children, and traditionally that should be a female. Of course, you were not raised in that environment.
No.
Her father stayed home with her.
My goal is...
And it was supposed to be that way, because there was no way I was staying home with the baby. We used his strengths and we used mine.
Yeah.
I ended up being at work and being home with you when you were a teenager, which was great.
Right.
Because he got frustrated by teenagers and I love teenagers.
I was about to say, I feel like I bonded with Dad. I mean, I bonded with him all the time, but I bonded with him much more when I was
younger.
Grade school, elementary school, and things like that. It's been easier for you and I to get along from teenage years upward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can communicate. Mm-hmm. I'm not good with people who don't talk.
Yeah. Or people that only speak in like one-word sentences, and they're like super like surface level.
Meant toddlers.
Like, I meant adults that can't talk. Like
the older a child gets, the better off I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which I was actually explaining this to, I think it was Jessie. Mm-hmm. You're just much more of an adult parent. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily like obviously you're an adult and you are a parent.
Or you mean parenting adult children.
Parenting adult children. Mm-hmm. You're really good at it. Because we suck at it.
It's really hard. I'm sorry. Adult children. Especially as a single parent. I think it's not something that people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
is that it's hard to be a single parent of adult children
Yeah.
because the type of support that you need is different from when your kids are younger or even teenagers, but they still need it.
Yeah.
I would say that the type is different, but the quantity and quality is still the same.
I just thought of a tradition that I don't like.
Okay, do tell.
When you're 18, you're on your own.
Oh,
That's crap.
stupid. Yeah.
That's crap.
The human brain is not fully developed until about 25 to 27, right around 26.
I was gonna say 26.
Don't say when they turn 26 because that's stupid.
No.
I also don't like people being tried as adults when they're 18.
No.
That's
it doesn't
just
make any sense.
immoral. It's completely immoral. It's
Yeah.
wrong. And if they've murdered someone, and I know there are people out there that are going to disagree with me, sorry, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Um,
Because, like, legally, by law, are you an adult? Fine. That's the only sense.
Actually, technically in New York State, even though they'll try you as an adult at 18, the state does not see you as an adult and sees can hold your parents responsible for you
that's
until you're
right.
21.
That's true.
Yeah,
Forgot about
I've been
that.
down that road.
Yeah. But, yeah, that just reminded me.
Yeah, so that's a weird one. I know.
So, that's
Traditions that you like.
traditions I like. What's End?
We go to Wits End every year
Uh-huh.
to do like a holiday shopping. We don't really necessarily buy gifts for other people. We tend to buy ornaments for the Christmas tree.
Yeah, we buy one ornament for the tree.
It's
every
just a thing.
year.
We drive all the way to Clifton Park and to go shopping.
And we'll definitely shop around in the super expensive parts that we can't afford anything and usually not buy anything.
Right, but we still go there.
Right.
Yeah.
I really like strawberry shortcake every year.
Strawberry
for my birthday.
shortcake for your birthday.
Mhm.
Ham dinner for Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Apple crisp in the fall.
it's September. Let's see. You know what's kind of funny? I feel like my husband and I don't have a ton of like set in stone traditions. Because we're just kind of more go with the flow kind of thing when we're hanging out together.
Yeah.
But I don't see a problem with it. I just think it's interesting.
I think you'll see those things change over time.
Sure, yeah. Especially like when we have kids and things like that.
Well, I think that the longer that you're on your own, you'll pick and choose from traditions of the past.
Although, you know what's kind of like a non-tradition thing?
What?
We don't celebrate our first anniversary of when we started dating anymore. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily a tradition or it's just, again, a custom thing. But, like, for any of you who don't know, my husband and I started dating on August 31st in 2017. Dad died August 31st in 2019. So we just kind of don't do anything for it
It's
anymore.
like the non-anniversary.
Yeah, we still acknowledge it, obviously, but we actively do anything for it.
You might eventually, once enough time has passed,
Sure.
where you'll know what that is and when that is. But it would just pass 3 years. It just marked year 3 without Paul on it, and I just think it's, I don't know about you, but I would assume that it's just too soon to celebrate the day you got together when there's still a lot of pain from losing your dad.
And we still, obviously we still celebrate our anniversary of getting engaged. We celebrate our anniversary of getting married and things like that.
Celebrate your anniversary of getting engaged. It was Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, sorry. I feel like other traditions that I like.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Vogue. The fun one.
Christmas tree?
Oh yeah, I love doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like putting the tree up and stuff like that.
Decorating.
I, in particular,
Which means traditions you don't like, the tree's gotta come down at some point.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Not a fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's the tree coming down, it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like if you don't do it right when you go to put it up against the frame.
Especially with lights.
Yeah, with lights.
Yeah. I know this leans more toward holidays and things like that in terms of tradition. I really, really like handing out candy on Halloween, specifically in this area.
Yeah.
Because like
You've always loved it.
Yeah.
I know.
I love it.
Her first Halloween was kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get involved in Halloween before she was in school because I didn't have to.
Yeah, and I didn't care.
And I wasn't going to worry about it. But when she was in school, she was like, hey, there's this thing called Halloween.
Yeah. I love Halloween.
People are putting on costumes. I think I want to be a cat. This was like 2 days before.
Yeah.
But I did make you into a cat.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I am the master costume maker.
Mm-hmm. And now I feel like I have enough things in my closet that you've made to just make my own costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then you trick-or-treated at like 12 houses, and then you were like, I'm ready to come home and give out candy.
Yeah, I wasn't big on trick-or-treating. I wanted to be able to, I think that's the humanitarian in me.
Yeah, to give her.
I wanted to give things out to other people instead of go up and be like, hey.
Not just that, but your dad loved to give out candy and see little kids in their costumes.
Yeah, because some of them were hysterical.
And adorable.
I know.
And adorable. Yes.
The one girl that was the claw machine that one year.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also like, jeez. I feel like there's a lot to choose from, honestly. Not necessarily because we're traditional, but because we have a lot of traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank you. That was so cute. You can't see, but Mom just made me a little cocooned little
Bug.
bug.
Almost looks like Arthur.
A little
The
bit.
aardvark.
Arthur the aardvark.
Pull that snout out a little bit. Anywho.
I think that. Oh, Screw Lake is a tradition. Or it used to be anyway.
Yeah,
We
Screw
used to go
Lake.
often.
Yeah, we went this year finally. We went for a couple of hours. We didn't spend the night, but we went up to the beach at Screw Lake. That was a tradition that we did for several years. And the only reason we didn't go back was because we couldn't afford it. Because there's no money.
Right. To get food and pay for gas. And
Yeah.
staying up there is now not a thing. I'd like to be able to make that a tradition with
Eventually.
Wyatt and I specifically.
Yeah.
Because I always want to take them on weekends away and just hang out up in the Adirondacks somewhere. But yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. Yeah, I'd like to hear from other people
Yeah.
and hear what your traditions are and what you think of the word traditional.
Mm-hmm. Traditional versus traditional.
And traditions that you don't like.
Yeah. Or traditions that are traditional or accustomed to doing or something like that you do enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like things that are already like societally a tradition or religiously a tradition or things like that you like. Because it doesn't have to be about breaking norms. It can be about using norms to make your own norm and tradition.
New norm.
New norm.
Yeah.
Norman.
Norman?
I don't know.
Yeah. So those are my closing thoughts. I'd like to hear from other people.
I would too. Yeah. Put it in the comments or comment on our Instagram and things like that and be like, hey, I like this.
Let's see if we can make it a tradition to actually do this podcast again.
With that being said, we'll see you next week.
Fingers crossed, folks. See you next week at Under the Sun and Moon. I'm Michelle.
I'm Kes.
Thanks for watching.